with Lady D today. I'm your host, Lady D. Join us every Thursday at 4 p.m. for another breakthrough conversation. Be a guest on our show, 216-571-2235. Well, welcome to What's Going On with Lady D today. And we're located right here at 7100 Euclid Avenue, KAZ Radio TV Network. Today, I am so honored and so very happy to have a very wonderful young man on the show today named Mr. Keith Davis. He is with the Famicos Foundation, located right here in Cleveland, Ohio. Welcome to our show. How you doing today, Keith?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yes, indeed. And I would like for you to tell our audience a little bit of something about you.
Well, I was born in Cleveland, Ohio. I've been here for just about all of my life.
Okay.
And here I work as a financial as well as home ownership counselor in the area. Part of the reason why I chose to work in the nonprofit sector was that I've been there. I've been one of those individuals who really didn't have a good consensus or understanding of my own financial picture and understood that struggle. And for me, I think that as I learned about more clarity, things that made more sense to me, I began to kind of start this journey of working with individuals directly within the community.
Excellent. And so now tell me, how long have you been working in the financial area?
Well, I'm hiding a little bit of my grays, but it's been let's just say it's been about close to 10 years plus.
Okay.
Working in the financial as well as home ownership area. Yeah.
That's awesome. So now I would like to ask you, I know Famicos Foundation, they're located here in Cleveland on Ansel Road. Actually, how long have they been there?
So they've been there for over 50 plus years, providing services directly to the community. Home affordability has been one of the biggest areas that they've worked with people in the community with providing that home ownership to individuals through their lease to purchase program, as well as even affordable housing for rent. Part of that process as well is that they've been involved in community building and engagement. So, if you're in, of course, the Glenville, St. Clair, Huff area, perhaps you may have seen that Famicos sign, maybe at somewhere such as the Glenville Fest, for instance.
Okay.
And, when working in the community, it's always been Famicos' approach to continue to try to provide visibility and let people in the community know about some of the different services that are available to provide sustainability.
I understand. So now let's talk about some of those wonderful services that they have. Tell our audience some of the services that you have there.
So, within the, I work within the program that's called the Homeownership Resource Center.
Okay.
And, part of that program is really to help individuals who will have the goal or aspiration or milestone of trying to achieve home ownership. But within that, we also offer, other services such as, financial management or money management, retention options if you are facing, issues with foreclosure or need of rental assistance or utility assistance. We advocate, we work with individuals in the community to try to come up with different solutions. Now, that is just one individualized program.
Wow, that's a lot.
just to kind of put it out there, but we also have other programs to assist individuals. We also have a tax lab where individuals who are in need, we offer free tax prep and we have professionals who are there to assist and educate them regarding their taxes. We also have a community building and engagement program as well, and they work directly within the community to assist individuals who may be in need. So, it's that type of active approach that we've always taken within the community, just to let people know that they don't have to feel hopeless. There is hope that is available, and we want to work as a community to work with people as much as possible.
That is really awesome because, we have a lot of resources here in our community.
Mm-hmm.
And people ride by every day, not necessarily knowing what's inside the building and what's being held, what can help them. So let's talk about some of I know you talk about your finances and helping. So are you helping them prepare to get ownership of their homes?
Yes. So
these classes?
So we are. And part of our approach is we like to do this within one-on-one counseling sessions. And typically with the one-on-one counseling sessions, it can last up to, anywhere from 30 minutes to 45 minutes, depending on what we are preparing to do directly within the session. But what I like to say about the coaching/counseling sessions that we have is that it's really a great opportunity to not only gain that type of needed help or support, but really work with a financial coach or homeownership counselor to establish a goal, right? Because the biggest thing is that there's a difference, right? There's a dream and then there's a goal.
Right.
And when we think about goals, there's accountability, there's steps that have to be taken in order to reach those types of aspirations. And so for us, we are concerned with making sure that we're taking everything one step at a time in order to achieve what those goals are.
And that is so important because, you don't want to live outside your means, and you need to know how to set priorities.
Absolutely.
And when it's especially your first home, you want to be able to retain it.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to be educated. And this is what you do. You help them with that.
Absolutely. And, the other thing that I want to say about that is that there's not a cookie cutter approach.
Okay.
There's not a cut and paste. But somebody, any individual that we're working with, they're unique to us. So we're looking at potentially what is the best possible option to make them get that much more closer to their outcome. A lot of times when we talk about the methodology behind coaching, what I typically like to use is that we're not saying that you don't know how to swim, but there could be other techniques, other ways to help you swim better.
Right.
So that's what we want to help you with.
That is really awesome. Now, what is the difference between a credit repair and credit report?
So I'm glad you asked that question about the credit repair aspect versus the credit rebuilding aspect, because a lot of times, and this is something that we see within the community, oftentimes when we go through coaching sessions and we take a look at different things such as the credit, one of the questions one of the statements that we typically get is that, well, my friend, he does this credit thing that you do, and he told me that just pay him $500 and he would make my credit score go up. Just different things like that. And there's quite a few different types of credit repair agencies that are around in the industry. What I would always tell individuals about that is that generally there's a difference between credit repair and credit rebuilding.
Okay.
Generally, with credit repair services, you have to pay a fee. Credit rebuilding, we're working on not only helping you to build your score up, but also we're providing you with education around that. Look at it this way.
Okay.
For example, let's say that you're feeling sick and you go to a doctor, and the doctor will say, "Hey, I'm going to prescribe to you a medication to take." Now, he prescribes that medication to you. However, he doesn't tell you the next day you're going to be 100% healthy. He just gives you factual information that he knows that's going to help you to good health.
Right.
It's the same aspect with credit rebuilding. We're giving you factual information that we know 100% is correct. But we're not going to tell you that, hey, do this, overnight you'll have an 800 score, because we know that it doesn't work that way.
Right. So that's something that you have to constantly keep working at.
Absolutely.
And what's involved in that is making sure that you are paying your debts on time.
On time, absolutely. That is number one. That is number one. No, that. I'm glad that you mentioned that, because honestly, that's the number one thing. Look at it this way: no one wants to be paid. I mean, everybody wants to get paid.
Right.
Nobody wants to get paid late.
Right.
I mean, can you think of anybody that would like to get paid late?
And it's like if you borrow, you should be a responsible
Exactly.
borrower and pay back on time, because there are penalties.
Exactly.
A lot of times there are hidden penalties.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times they don't. They give you the disclosures.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I want to know, why do they make the disclosure print so tiny that you can't even see that? I worked in banking I was in the financial world, and that just behooved me that why would you give someone a 3 and 4 page disclosure, and it's a half an inch in letter, and then you got the long line with just put your initials there.
Well, they're banking on something, and not segue for banking, but they're banking on something. They're banking on the fact that you're not going to take the time to ask those important questions directly to them as their professional. That's always been the number one thing, even with our banking institutions, financial institutions. When individuals go directly to a bank and they're looking at any type of loan product, they're looking at borrowing anything, they should always ask questions. However, oftentimes within the community, they don't ask those questions because typically they're intimidated of how that's going to look. For them, when we work with individuals, we want them to feel empowered to know that, hey, listen, okay, well, I know that I'm at a place where I can get approved for a loan. However, I want to make sure that I understand exactly what I'm getting. And so, a lot of times it's important, just kind of to take that opportunity that even if you can't read the fine print, even if you don't feel like reading the fine print, you have the right to ask questions at all times.
And the other thing is that a lot of times, if you're new to something like this, you may not know what questions to ask.
Absolutely.
This is your first time doing this. So over here, can I say that Famicos will actually take my hand and go through line by line?
That's what the goal is. That's
Okay.
what the goal is. You have to be comfortable with who you're working with. If someone is advocating for you, if they're telling you directly that they're going to advocate for you or support you, then that means that they're with you.
And what makes a good advocator?
It starts off with someone who's going to listen.
Okay.
Too many times, we are excited to be your champion. I'll say that much.
Okay.
So that means that we want to be able to be that person that's either going to lead you or pull you right out of the situation that you're at. However, the one thing that we have to understand is that there are certain social barriers that impact individuals oftentimes. And, we don't want to dehumanize the session, but we want to take the opportunity to be able to have that type of connection. And so for sometimes it starts with listening to exactly what's going on. So that's what you can't advocate for someone unless you know what's going on.
And that is really important today, that we learn how to listen.
Mm-hmm.
Hear the individual, hear what they're saying. And if you're not sure what they're saying, maybe you need to repeat it back so that way that you're communicating on the same line there. So the other programs that you have, let's talk about our seniors.
Mm-hmm.
How does Famicos help our seniors?
Well, that's interesting that you mentioned that, because within our main building, we actually have senior apartments as well. But the great thing about Famicos is that we work with everyone. It does not matter what age you're at. If you want to buy a house, if there's something financially that you want to work on, that is something that we want to help you with. We want to put you in the best position as possible, no matter what your age is.
So you have youth programs, I understand?
We do.
What are some of those programs?
So we have, we work directly with Youth Opportunities Unlimited.
Okay.
which is a program that works with individuals and allows them to partner with our organizations such as Famicos Foundation. And, they work with us, especially during the summertime, and they get a really good opportunity to learn about not just what Famicos does, but what nonprofit organizations do, just as even in that sector. The other thing is that what we're working at is we're truly working on making sure that we enrich their experience by providing them with opportunities to do lunch and learns.
Okay, now what is that all about?
So through lunch and learns, one of the things that we try to work with individuals on, especially our youth, is that we want to make sure that they're getting an opportunity to experience some type of financial literacy,
Okay.
such as money conversations. So within money conversations, it gives them a great opportunity to gain a better understanding of, okay, this is why certain things will be important to your future. Or even asking a professional as myself or one of my colleagues, some questions about different things that they may be interested in. It's never too early to have those conversations, especially before they get into college and they begin to start getting different things such as student loans or, accrued debt from credit cards or different things like that. So we just want to make sure that we are setting them up, quite frankly, for the future and making sure that they are properly equipped to handle anything or even feel that they're able to ask those important questions of professionals.
That is really good because our youth, they need that.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of times I don't know what they're offering in the school settings. So this program that you have for them is through the summer only.
Yeah, it's generally through the summer only.
Okay.
But the thing is that the great thing about us is that it's always constantly evolving. They're always looking at different ways of saying, okay, what can we do better? Maybe this time we'll bring in a bank. Maybe this time we'll expose them to other different things that are available to help our youths.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So now the other locations, how many locations do Flamingo have?
Wow, that's quite a great question. And so for us, we have it would be difficult for me to say how many locations definitively,
Right.
but I do know kind of some of the different areas that we are currently serving. So we are serving the St. Clair, Superior, the Glenville, the Huff area as a community development corporation. But the good thing that I always like to mention about some of the different work that I do is that it's a Cuyahoga County program.
Okay.
So for HRC, the program within itself, we work through the county. So we get individuals who may live in, let's just say, for instance, Garfield or Shaker, that may need help or assistance, and we work with those individuals as well.
Now, what is HRC, just in case someone is listening? Because, we have these initials, but what does it mean? What is it?
Yeah, the acronym, right? So it stands for Homeownership Resource Center. Is what it stands for. But, the one thing that I would say about Homeownership Resource Center is that within there, that's not the only thing that we do. It's just not about home ownership and buying a home. We also work with individuals who are interested in just general money management,
Okay.
building their credit, who may be experiencing some type of financial loss or hardship. We work with individuals in a lot of different areas and spaces.
Great. I also was looking at, so do you handle like legal work or helping one expunge their record?
Yes, that is our legal works. So
Okay.
we have a legal works program, and which they're there, I believe, every Wednesday, and there's a couple of other days that they're there as well. And they do help with those different things such as expungements. Also, too, we have a business development program as well.
Okay.
So for individuals who are aspiring of growing their own businesses, we have a program that's set up for that too.
That is really awesome. So that is that storefront renovation and marketing support.
It's definitely marketing support. There's resources that are available. There's the storefront program, but also too, just recently, the manager of the business development program, he started actually a series too that they could actually take advantage of. So there's an actual workshop,
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
that they can take advantage of.
What's the phone number for that? Because I'm quite sure I know today everyone is trying to be self-employed, and more information the better. How can they contact?
So I would suggest to get in contact to call 216
Okay.
791 6476 and just state that they're interested in business development for their small business.
Okay.
And
Is that the main number that they call and then they ask for other services?
that is absolutely correct. It's 216 791 6476.
And what's the address to Famico?
So it's 1325 Ansel Road, and that's Cleveland, Ohio 44106.
Okay, awesome. Now, I want to ask you, so what actually got you into being into this field?
That's a really, really, really good question.
Because you're very good. I had the opportunity to come and sit and talk with you in your office. And I just have to let everyone know, this young man has the superb customer service skills, and that is something that we are missing today. He has pride. He takes pride in what he does. He enjoys what he does because it comes across, and he doesn't make you don't feel less than because you do not have. And he shares his information. So we need more of this. Do you offer training for customer service? Because I think you'd be the perfect person to teach our youth about that customer service. It's important.
Yeah, so I don't, but that's a really great point. Maybe I need to consider that.
I think it would
future,
be important. It's
in the
something that
future.
you all should offer. Because
Yeah.
now the youth are making all this money. They're starting them off at $15, $16, $17 an hour. And when you go to some of these places, they have attitude. They know nothing about customer service, and they act like they don't even want to work.
Yeah.
And when I was coming along, I jumped from Burger King for $2.90 to Church's Chicken for a dime more. Times are changing.
No, I've learned that generally, despite everything else that you could accrue, assets and so forth, the one thing is your reputation. Your reputation carries with you. And it's something that for me personally, in any area that I worked at, if I was, sweeping the floor, I want to be the most professional floor sweeper that it can be.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, that's something that people take away. The thing is that it's one thing to work at a specific entity, organization, or just general place. But the one thing is that they typically associate the person that works there with an organization. And so for me, I always wanted to look at it as an asset, someone who's actually adding to,
Yes.
rather than taking from.
Right. And see, that is so important. And I think you do such a wonderful job at what you do. So I had to highlight you today. Famicos, you guys got a wonderful employee here. And I'm just telling you, you can't get it any better than Mr. Keith Davis. And Mr. Keith Davis, let our audience know what it is that you do so they can call you. Because he will help you. And if he can't, he knows where to get you some help.
Yeah. Well, so currently my role is home ownership as well as financial counselor. I'm working with individuals who are, interested in home ownership, but also who are interested in financial coaching and also overall financial well-being. Besides that, I'm also working with individuals who are, of course, interested in avoiding certain things such as evictions and so forth, and foreclosure prevention as part of our role at Famicos, as part of our opportunity really to continue to work with people to sustain them. Besides that, I'm a professional listener, so
and that's most important.
So that's another thing that I will add. So working with us or working with myself, we want personally the best for you, and so part of it is that you don't have to feel intimidated with meeting with someone. You don't have to feel embarrassed, but know that we're going to work directly with you, hand to hand. So
That is awesome. And I do have to ask you, what challenges do you find in your job?
well,
Because you're so cool, calm, and collected.
I would say that right now the biggest challenge is just that it's time, right? I think that we all find that time can be difficult. It seems that no matter how much of it we get, there's never enough of it.
Yeah.
And I would say that, and I think what I would say, just to kind of flip that question around a little bit, is how I would challenge myself is that I just know that there is more areas around, especially even in the sector that we serve, they're not aware of what we do as a program. They're not aware of what Famicos can do, and so we're challenged with that task.
You are. So that's why it's important to get the word out here and let the community know. So even if you're not a part of the Huff and Glenville area, do you service Union Miles, people that come from other
Absolutely.
areas, Slavic Village, those areas? Can they come and get help from Famicos?
Absolutely. So, I used to serve actually in that sector in the Slavic Village area for some time.
Okay.
So I'm familiar with that area. I'm actually familiar with a lot of the banks in that area as well.
Okay.
And like I said, I told you I was high on my grades. So it's always a pleasure. The biggest thing for me personally is that if there's someone in need, we're going to work to try to help them. And a lot of times, the way I look at it is that there's a saying that says many tools get the job done, right, or something close to that.
Right.
Sometimes there's many resources get the job done, and that's kind of what we want to look at it from that standpoint. So we're here to help people.
And do you also mentor?
I've been asked that question prior before. That's something that
Because you have a great talent for that.
We'll say stay tuned. Right now, I'm working with my nephew, so that's
That's your challenge.
We'll start with him. He's piloting.
Okay, that's good. So that's what we have to do. We have to take someone and teach one, help one.
Absolutely.
And inspire and motivate. Because we're all here together, and everybody's goal is to be successful in whatever it is that we do. How we live, how we grow, how we learn. It's life. We have to help each other. So give the Famico address and phone number one more time for those who didn't catch it.
Sure. So the address is 1325 Ansel Road, and that's Cleveland, Ohio 44106, and that direct main number is 216-791-6476.
Thank you so much. And now you know what's going on today. Thank you so much, Mr. Keith Davis.
Thank you so
much.
much.
And the Famicos Foundation. Welcome to What's Going On with Lady D today. I'm your host, Lady D. Join us every Thursday at 4 p.m. for another breakthrough conversation. Be a guest on our show, 216-571-2235.